What if the man you trusted most held a secret that could change everything you thought you knew about him? For years, Brian Fraser kept a feeling locked away, a truth too dangerous to speak. But now, that secret is coming to light. Brian Fraser, a man known for his honor and unwavering loyalty, has always carried an air of mystery. To those around him, he is a pillar of strength, a protector who acts decisively in times of danger. Yet beneath that calm and commanding presence lies a heart full of emotions he has never shared. Many in his world see only the mask, the serious eyes, the steady hands, the voice that reassures without revealing the storms beneath. But those small gestures, the lingering glance at a familiar face, the way he hesitates before answering certain questions, hint at a depth few have ever noticed. In the quiet moments when no one is watching, Brian's true self whispers through fleeting expressions and subtle actions, revealing a man who feels deeply, perhaps more than he allows himself to show. It is in these moments that the audience begins to see the tension between duty and desire, the constant battle between what must be done and what is secretly longed for. Scotland's misty hills and roaring fires in the Fraser homes serve as a backdrop to his inner struggle, reflecting the conflict between the warmth he hides in his heart and the cold walls he has built to protect it. Every word Brian chooses, every step he takes is measured, precise, and deliberate, not because he is cold, but because he fears what might happen if his true feelings are revealed. Those who have observed him closely, his family, his friends, perhaps even a certain someone, notice these rare, unguarded moments. A soft smile when no one expects it, a hand lingering too long on a familiar shoulder, a quiet sigh as he watches someone he cares for. These are the breadcrumbs that hint at the secret he holds. Brian Fraser's heart, though hidden, is alive with emotion. And the more he tries to bury it beneath the duties of family, honor, and survival, the more it fights to be seen. Each glance, each carefully measured interaction carries a silent message, a declaration of love he has never spoken aloud. It is this tension between the man he must be and the man he secretly is that sets the stage for a revelation the world and, perhaps even those closest to him, never expected. As we explore Brian Fraser's hidden world, the layers of his character unfold, showing us a man trapped between silence and confession, between loyalty and desire. A man whose secret "I love you" could alter everything in the story of Outlander. Blood of my blood. Brian Fraser's life is filled with people who rely on him, trust him, and sometimes, unknowingly, awaken feelings he has fought so hard to conceal. He is a man defined by duty, yet his heart has always responded to those who see beyond the surface. His family depends on his strength, his loyalty a shield against the dangers that constantly swirl around them. Yet, in the quiet corners of the Fraser estate, away from the eyes of the world, Brian's interactions reveal the truth he hides. A lingering touch on his shoulder, a carefully timed smile. The way he pauses to listen, just a fraction longer than necessary, all small signals. But to those who look closely, they speak volumes. These are the unspoken words of a man whose heart is full, yet never openly shown. That relationships Brian maintains are complex. With some, he is the guiding force, offering advice and protection, always measured and cautious. With others, he is silent, holding back thoughts that could betray his deepest emotions. Every conversation is layered, every glance charged with meaning. It's in these subtle exchanges that his secret begins to whisper. A love kept in shadows, a desire never spoken aloud, a longing that could change everything if revealed. Fans of Outlander might recall fleeting moments where Brian's reactions hint at more than friendship. Moments where his restraint feels almost painful. These glimpses, often dismissed as ordinary behavior, are in fact the footprints of a heart, desperately trying to remain hidden. But it is not only those closest to him who are affected. Brian's every action influences the course of events around him. A choice made quietly in the hallways of Fraser Castle. A decision taken to protect someone else's happiness. Carries the weight of the feelings he cannot voice. It is this duality, the man he must be versus the man he wants to be, creates tension, suspense, and emotional depth. Every loyal act, every brave gesture becomes a silent love letter in disguise, a coded message for those attuned enough to notice. The world sees Brian Fraser as steadfast and unshakable, but beneath the armor lies a heart that aches, hopes, and quietly loves. As we peel back the layers of Brian's relationships, we begin to understand why his "I love you" has remained unspoken. It is not a lack of feeling, but a fear of consequence, a fear that confessing could disrupt the delicate balance of the lives intertwined with his own. And yet, in the spaces between words, in the quiet moments that go unnoticed by most, his secret pulses with life waiting, yearning, and quietly begging to be seen. Every interaction, every glance, every careful silence builds toward a moment of revelation, a moment that promises to alter everything in the world of Outlander. Blood of my blood. Asterisk. For years, Brian Fraser's heart has been a quiet battlefield. Every day, he chooses restraint over confession, duty over desire, knowing that the world around him could never understand the depth of what he feels. Yet secrets have a way of surfacing, and for Brian, the tension between his silence and his tames emotions has grown unbearable. It is in the small, stolen moments that the truth nearly escapes him, a brush of hands over parchment, a lingering gaze across a candlelit room, a half-spoken word that trembles on the edge of revelation. These fleeting fragments of emotion tell a story louder than any declaration, revealing the vulnerability behind his composed exterior. In the halls of Fraser Castle, Brian moves with the same measured steps he always has, but his mind races with thoughts he cannot voice. Memories of shared laughter, subtle touches, and quiet confidences replay in his mind like a secret symphony. Each memory is a reminder of what he has loved silently, of what he has sacrificed for the sake of family, honor, and survival. And now something shifts. A single glance from the one he loves, an unspoken acknowledgement in the shadows, ignites a storm within him. His heart, long restrained, presses against the walls of his chest, threatening to break through. The audience can feel the weight of his restraint. He moves as though ordinary, but every gesture, every pause is charged with tension. A hand rests on the edge of a table a moment too long. A sigh escapes him when he thinks no one is watching. And in the silence, the unspoken words echo louder than any scream. "I love you." It is not said aloud, yet it reverberates through the very air of the castle, through the spaces between the walls, and through the hearts of those who know to read the signs. This is the secret Brian has protected. The truth he has hidden even from those closest to him, a declaration of love untainted by expectation, spoken only in the language of subtlety, longing, and courage. The drama builds not in words, but in what is left unsaid. The audience is drawn into the invisible thread of emotion, connecting Brian to the one he loves. Every careful look, every hesitant approach, every moment of lingering tension is a brushstroke painting the picture of a love both fragile and fiercely enduring. And while the "I love you" remains a secret for now, the cracks in his composure reveal a heart finally ready to speak. A love so powerful it can no longer be contained by silence alone. Asterisk. The silence Brian Fraser has carried for so long is finally breaking, not in words, but in actions that speak louder than any confession. The quiet tension that has shadowed his every step now reaches a moment of undeniable clarity. A glance across the room, a subtle tilt of the head, a hand reaching instinctively toward someone he cares for. These small, seemingly ordinary gestures have begun to carry the weight of truth. Those who watch closely can sense it. A love so carefully hidden, now impossible to disguise, radiating from every controlled movement, every measured breath. It is a revelation, not shouted from the rooftops, but whispered in the spaces between. Words felt rather than heard. Brian's secret "I love you" is no longer just his own burden, begins to ripple outward, affecting the lives of everyone around him. Family and friends notice the difference, subtle but unmistakable, in the way he interacts, in the warmth that has quietly grown where there was once only restraint. For the one he loves, the realization may come slowly. Through these small, tender signs, each one a thread weaving a connection too strong to ignore. And for Brian, the act of keeping silent, once a shield, has transformed into a kind of vulnerability, one that could strengthen bonds or shatter them, depending on the choice he makes next. The drama of Brian's hidden love is heightened by the world around him. The Scottish wind howls against the castle walls, echoing the unspoken storm in his heart. Candlelight flickers across parchment and stone, casting shadows that dance like the tension in his chest. Every quiet room, every dimly lit corridor, comes a stage for his inner struggle, a place where longing and duty collide. It is here, in these intimate spaces, that the audience witnesses the beauty and tragedy of his concealed love. A heart courageous enough to feel deeply, yet constrained by fear of disrupting everything he has built and protected. As the story reaches this point, the audience is left suspended between hope and uncertainty. Brian Fraser's secret "I love you" lingers in the air, potent and unresolved, inviting speculation, discussion, and anticipation. It is a love that has survived years of silence, now teetering on the edge of revelation. And while the world may not yet hear the words aloud, the weight of his feelings has already begun to reshape everything, promising that when the truth finally surfaces, it will be unforgettable. In the quiet aftermath, the question remains: will Brian continue to guard his heart? Or will he take the risk that could change the story and the lives intertwined with his forever? The walls of Fraser Castle have seen countless secrets, but none as quiet and profound as the one Brian Fraser carries in his heart. Even after the tension peaks and the first signs of his love begin to emerge, the impact of a silent "I love you" continues to ripple through every corner of his world. It lingers in the spaces where conversations pause, where glances meet, and where hands almost but don't quite touch. Unlike words, this unspoken truth does not fade. It echoes, it shapes interactions, colors decisions, and redefines the relationships Brian has spent his life safeguarding. In these quiet moments, the audience is invited to witness the subtle transformations that a secret love can cause. Family members feel a shift they cannot fully name. Friends sense a tenderness beneath Brian's normally unwavering demeanor. And the one he loves senses something more, a current running just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to surge. This unspoken affection is not just a confession. It is a force that alters the story in ways that words alone could never achieve. It is a love that exists in tension, in possibility, and in the beauty of restraint. Yet, with this revelation comes a haunting question. What happens when a heart can no longer remain silent? Brian's secret, though carefully hidden, has begun to shape the path of those around him. Every look, every hesitated step, every quiet gesture becomes a thread in a larger tapestry of emotion and consequence. The audience is left wondering not only if his love will finally be acknowledged, but what it will mean for the fragile balance of loyalty, family, and duty that he has spent his life maintaining. The suspense is palpable, the anticipation almost unbearable. Because this is a story where what is not said carries more weight than what is. As the scene fades, the lingering presence of Brian Fraser's hidden affection leaves the viewer in a state of quiet tension. There is no dramatic confession here, no sweeping declaration, just the profound power of a love felt deeply and silently. And yet, in the subtle moments that remain, there is hope. Hope that this quiet devotion will find its voice. Hope that the one he loves will finally understand, and hope that the next chapter of Outlander Blood of my blood will reveal the truth that has been hidden for so long. For the audience, this ending is not closure. It is a promise that Brian Fraser's heart, though secretive, will continue to shape the story in ways no one could have predicted. Brian Fraser's hidden love is no longer just his own story. It has become a lens through which we see everything around him in a new light. The unspoken "I love you" does more than reveal emotion. It changes how we interpret every glance, every choice, every moment of restraint. What once seemed like routine loyalty now pulses with meaning. Every sacrifice he made, every decision he carefully weighed, carries the weight of a heart in hiding. The secret transforms the world of Outlander. Blood of my blood. Not with fireworks or dramatic proclamations, but with the quiet power of truth patiently waiting to emerge. For the audience, this revelation reshapes expectations. Brian is no longer simply the dependable stoic figure. He is a man of depth, vulnerability, and courage, a heart in conflict with itself. Fans begin to notice patterns, to read the silences and small gestures that previously went unnoticed. Every pause in conversation, every hesitant smile, and every lingering look is now loaded with meaning. The secret, though never spoken aloud, rewrites the narrative of his relationships and the story itself. It reminds us that sometimes the most powerful stories are told not through words, but through restraint, longing, and the quiet moments between the lines. And yet, the ripples of Brian's hidden love extend beyond him alone. They reach into the lives of those who share his world, subtly influencing choices, creating tension, and leaving the audience to wonder, how will this unspoken truth shape what comes next? Will it remain a secret forever? Or will the moment of revelation arrive when least expected? The suspense is not in action, but in potential. The potential for change, for heartbreak, and for the undeniable impact of a love that has been kept in shadows for too long. As the story pauses here, the audience is left with a profound understanding. Secrets, especially ones rooted in love, carry immense power. Brian Fraser's quiet confession is more than a narrative twist. It is a transformative force, reminding viewers that what is left unsaid often resonates far more deeply than what is spoken. And in the silent halls of Fraser Castle, in the wind-swept Scottish Highlands, and in the hearts of those watching, that secret pulses with life, waiting for the moment when it can no longer remain hidden. The story is far from over, and the promise of revelation lingers, drawing the audience back for every future twist, every quiet glance, and every heartbeat that tells a story words never could. Brian Fraser's secret "I love you" has lingered in the shadows for years, but now the weight of unspoken emotion reaches a turning point. The quiet strength he has relied on, the composure he has maintained through trials and danger, begins to falter, not in chaos, but in the delicate moments where truth meets possibility. Every glance he shares, every subtle gesture carries the power to shift the balance of relationships, loyalty, and destiny. The story has been building quietly, but now it hums with the energy of what might finally be revealed. The power of his secret lies not in spectacle, but in subtlety. The audience sees it in the brush of his hand against someone's sleeve, in a hesitant pause before speaking, in the depth of his gaze that words could never fully capture. It is a love that exists beyond speech, beyond expectation, a love that thrives in restraint, yet threatens to break free with every heartbeat. This is the moment where the invisible becomes palpable, where tension meets anticipation, and where the audience feels the pull of a story unfolding in the spaces between words. And yet, even as Brian Fraser edges closer to revealing his truth, questions remain. Will the one he loves recognize the depth of his feelings? Will the walls of duty, honor, and circumstance allow this quiet confession to surface? The suspense lingers like a Scottish mist over Fraser Castle, shrouding the answer and compelling the audience to imagine, to theorize, and to feel the weight of emotions that have long been hidden. The brilliance of this moment lies in its restraint, is not the declaration itself, but the promise of what could come. The tension between silence and revelation that grips the heart as the final scene fades. The echo of Brian Fraser's unspoken love reverberates through the castle, through the highlands, and through the very souls of those watching. It is a reminder that the most profound stories are often those told in whispers, in stolen glances, and in hearts that dare to feel even when the world demands restraint. And though the words "I love you" may still remain unspoken, their presence transforms everything, every relationship, every choice, every heartbeat that follows. The story pauses here, suspended on the edge of revelation, leaving the audience captivated, reflective, and yearning for what comes next in Outlander. Blood of my blood.